There we go. I don't know why it was not letting me start yet for so long. It was just hanging. That was weird. Well, anyway, so last night we got to the point where we have items displayed and loading. Oh, hold on. I do have to get around to fixing that that token expiry issue. So let's log out and in again. Okay, there we go. So we got 2 pages of test data. Yeah. I'll have to delete these items later, but for now, first thing I want to do is add a max height. So dashboard module. Okay. Max height. What's a solid max height? I think that's a pretty good height to keep them at. How tall are they now? Okay. Let's call it a 250. Okay. There we go. Yep. I think that's reasonable. That's pretty well responsive, I'd say. Can even experiment with making it 200 just for the hell of it. Yeah, I think 200 is reasonable. Okay, we'd have description, notes, and then of course any controls down here as well. We don't need to implement any controls just yet. But so far so good. Yeah, I like 200. I like 200. Right. Now, the only issue is I kind of want to control the height of these a little bit to make them consistent. Right now there's inconsistencies in the heights in this mode compared to this mode. That's something I kind of want to address at some point, but I think for now I'll leave that be because I don't want to get too wrapped up in that. So, what's really missing? mean, I already forgot what I wrote down I need to do, so I'm just gonna go back in real quick and okay. Yeah, I guess we'll just work on the search. I mean, I could futz around with the no, I'm gonna focus on search and category filtering first. I'm gonna do that. And then I'll worry about if I have time tonight to normalize the heights of grid view items. Alright. So this makers off. Oh. That sucks. Did I forget to empty that? No, I didn't. Did I? Alright. So, what I want is for that to show up in the address bar too. So you can navigate back to any given selection. So, first of all, I need to be able to get the search bar. Search params, page is unknown. Yeah. So, I need to pass the search between these components. Now, again, with Angular, you do that with observers. So let's see, React observer observables. So we need to look into this. So but how about for anything at all? Oh, screw you. Yeah, I just need a way to... Yeah, what's the best way to do that then? Okay. Yeah, so just pass it up, I guess. Yeah, but that kind of makes, for something like this, where it's between the header and I'd like to be some go-between that they can talk to, some events class that they both have access to, and one can emit values and the other can subscribe to those changes. That's how it's done in Angular. What I don't want to do is have app.tsx, which controls left nav and navbar. That's the only common parent between left nav, navbar, and any given page. I don't want this to have a bunch of search and category selection code in it. That's a mess. Because you can see how it could quickly get clogged up with all sorts of things that way. Okay. React. To event. Custom events. Default events available. Event on dialog. Maybe. I need deep dive. Make sex messages between. This pattern becomes more and more cumbersome. Personally, this pattern feels unnatural, and that is true. Function down as a prop in order to let the crunch. You also pass that initial state. Stop making cookies. Cookies. Number of issues. This treats multiple conflicting sources of truth, undermining the interior state. Essentially, an intuitive but less effective method of prop. Event emitter approach. Okay, I'm just going to highlight that and see what the other is. Okay. Okay. Then event emitter is an event plus. Oh. Okay, so anyway. Emitter establishes a direct line of communication between the two desired points for need to pass event information, data callbacks through intermediate components. The event emitter that I implemented has two types of action, dispatch and subscribe. These aren't special keywords. They could instead be called publish and subscribe, or emitted and subscribe for that matter. Send and receive, speak and listen. More actions. Should be important in non-trivial applications. Yeah, I know what a dog is. First thing is to find the event emitter, which is simply an object that we can import to other components as needed. Const event emitter equals dispatch function if this dot events. Event return this dot events. Event for each callback. Describe function. So we have to roll our own. Export enum events. Title. Use enum to keep track of events similar. Const. Dispatch. Events. Dispatch. Events. Data any. If not, this event, return. This event for each callback. Subscribe. Now I want to import event emitter to components that will be subscribing to an event and then setting up a subscribe functionality. The name of the event that you can pass can be whatever you like because the purpose is to associate two signals. The name of the event just has to match the corresponding dispatch and subscribe. Here I describe the event by the name of the callback function. Okay. This dot catch. Now repeat those same steps for the dispatch. Import event emitter and set up dispatch functionality. These are the dispatches that correspond to the two subscribes above. Now your components have a direct line communication coordinates. Setup is required. So maybe more work that's worth for simpler flat applications with minimal event-related communication between components. It may be confusing for other developers. That is our widespread pattern. You'll need to contain them in a single object array. Single container. Yeah, that's fine. So form ID index on submit equals dispatch add comment. Okay, so if I just sort of exporting no events. Text. Yeah, so that's a way of keeping consistency so that you don't have to. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because this is using strings, whereas observables and emits in Angular. You know, you'd just be typing something like K. X. You know, you'd have come on, stop it. A component, whatever. Oh, could you fuck off? Export class page. You know, you'd have your reference. No. Yeah, you'd reference your HTML, reference your CSS, and then export some page, and then you'd have, you know, public some page, etc. Private. Private. Some other. Etc. As your constructor, and then you'd have service dot subscribe, and then you'd have your callback, etc. And then in your other class, there's something like that. Could get a realish example. If you give me a second. Hold on. Yeah. Yeah, injectable. You'd have add injectable on it. I wish this thing would like let me hit my up key instead of trapping me in a menu I don't want to be in. So you'd have add injectable, you know. Export class, some service. I'm sorry, it would be some event sorry. Private sum event equal subject string or whatever equals new subject whatever. And then you'd have, you know, some event you know. Yeah, that's just our naming convention to put dollar signs there to distinguish between regular variables and observables. Yeah, you'd have public emit, public yeah, it's something like that, and like that's how it's done in Angular, more or less. But this is React, and I want to find an equivalent to this in React, and it seems like the closest I'm going to get is this. Right. And then, of course, you know, you could have some and then hold on. Well, that's nonsense. What do you mean there's no? Yeah, and then from any other component, you would emit through that, and that's that central thing would hold the value. Maybe that's what a hook would be for. Huh. I need to figure out what the equivalent of this in React is. But yeah, basically, where's catalog list here? Need to find one of these subscriptions here. Here we go. Yeah, subscription equals null. Yeah, so you'd have a sub. That would be I null. Yeah, and then on your ng on destroy. You do no list up. Yeah, it's something like that. And dot. Yeah, and that's the gist of it. Like, that's more or less what I'm trying to do. That's how it's done in Angular. That's what I'm trying to accomplish here today, between the search bar and the the equivalent of this. I've been doing this for 5 years. I don't know how to do it in React, so I'm at a bit of a loss here. So. Hold on, let me find. You know what? Hold on. That component, yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna see something. I'm gonna see something. This will be fun. Let's do something fun real quick. All right. Context, huh? Let's see what we got here. Streets of component use fast data changes between components using a service as an intermediary. Here's a brief overview of what the code does. Some service. This is an angular service. Many events providing some events using exchange as subject. Has a method emits some event which allows components to emit some events with a string value. Some page components. This component serves some event. Another page. Engine destroying method. Engine destroy life cycle. So you can create a context to hold your state. Dispatching events provided by the context. Okay, create a context. So use context. Some provider. Component that wraps your application or the part of the application where you want to share state. All the state methods is provided. And provide them to other components through the context. Consumer components. Components that need access to the shared state or methods can consume the context using these. Memory leaks. Here's a simple example. I implement this using React's context API. So, provider component. Some provider serves the equivalent of your Angular service. Although again, I wonder if there's, well, I'm going to hold on to that page for now, actually. React RxJS. Let's see. Okay. What if we just create a hook from an observable? Supports a function called bind, which is used to connect a stream to a hook. So. Const text change, set text, create signal string. Function text input, text equals use text. Bind returns a tuple that contains the hook, plus the underlying shared observable so it can be used by other streams. Notice that through core concepts, understand the mindset of this. Cast a new subscription is created for a new observer. Because you might want to have a different state for each subscription. However, this doesn't play nicely for React. In React, you have different components, and they all need to receive the same value. Moreover, if that value dispatches up to make one single call. Okay, so XGS uses a push-based approach where you declaratively define streams and their relationships. Push because now the producer of the state is responsible for it. So maybe it's not ideal to do this in React because it's sort of. How about this dispatch? That's similar too. In that matter. I feel like this would be would have very poor performance. You know, So I'm not too keen on that. I want to avoid this. But import React, create context, use context. Create context, use state. Some context equals create context. Some provider const some state stub provider. Emit some of it. Have some hook to consume the context. Okay. So I would have to wrap it in a context. So let's just undo all those changes. Okay. Oh, I just slammed my microphone. Lovely. So, yeah, this is troubling. Yeah, so where did I have a context reference? It was in context aware toggle, yeah. Wherein is accordion active, use context. Use context helpers. As accordion active, use context, accordion context. Okay, so I'm creating a context and using context. And I'm getting some value. Which means that that value is being set. Context aware toggle. Button, click, decorate on click equals use accordion button. Declare function use accordion. Event handler. So bootstrap. Source. Accordion. React bootstrap. Accordion. Yeah, that's not getting me anywhere. Okay. So I'm not going to be able to find the source for that easily. There's gotta be a way to know exactly what it's doing, but okay. Use context and context. Equals some state. Some event. Active event key. So, accordion context. I wonder if I can find the accordion context source online somewhere. Active event key. Oh. Active event key. Property. On select. So that must be calling the on select. So const, hold on. Accordion context. And always open. No. Not that one. Select. Just declare this. Okay. Oh, would you? So it is just like the GPT example. So if I were to wrap this in whatever context I need, so that's how I do it in the React way. I don't really want to. If the way RxJS works is kind of counterintuitive to the way React works, then I don't really want to use that in React. It's nice in Angular, it works wonderfully, but... And I certainly don't want to use this method if it can be avoided. So yeah, I think my best bet is context. I'm going to have to learn about context and creating context. So, okay. So, just flip that over files. Let's see what it thinks of that. Context API libraries. Redux, for instance, offers a centralized store for managing. State. Just describe the changes in the store somehow. Angular. Philosophy handling state and data flow. In most cases, leveraging React's built-in tools, libraries like Redux, Context API is the. What about Redux? And a series of checkboxes. Redux. Context. Okay. Redux is well suited for managing complex application state and handling actions that mutate. Okay, so hold on. Redux and React's Context API can be used to manage application-wide state, including the search bar input. I mean, obviously it's coming from a damn computer, so I'm taking the advice with a grain of salt. I would never have this motherfucker write code for me. Maybe port a no more than 4-line function from one language to another and then thoroughly check it anyway. I did that exactly once. And that function is not used in this application. It's just good to bounce ideas off this fucker sometimes, you know? Including the search bar input, checkbox selections, and maintaining query parameters. Choosing between Redux and React's Context API depends on factors like complexity of your application, your team's familiarity with the tools, and personal preferences. Here's a brief comparison to help you decide. Redux is well suited for managing complex application state and handling actions that mutate the state. It provides a single source of truth. I like that. That holds the entire state of the application. Redux offers middleware for managing asynchronous actions, which can be useful if you need to fetch data from an API based on search or filter criteria. With Redux, you have predictable state management and time travel debugging, which can be helpful to some boilerplate code and a learning curve, especially for beginners. Oh, yeah, whatever. React's context API is similar and more lightweight compared to Redux. It allows you to pass data through the component tree without having to pass props manually at every level. Context API is great for small applications. You want a simpler state management solution without overhead of Redux. It might not be as powerful or scalable as Redux on a larger. It's also worth noting that for your scenario, if your application is relatively simple, it doesn't require advanced state management features. Using React's context API wrapped around entirely choice allows you to manage state more easily. Around complexity, or if you anticipate needing features like handling asynchronous actions, Redux might be a better fit. It provides a more structured approach to managing state. Ultimately, both Redux and React are valuable options for managing application-wide state, considering your specific requirements, project scope. Alright, well, let's look at Redux. React Redux. There's always a React version of everything. React's component model. Well, that's a pain in the ass. Okay, and configuring your store. In the Redux fundamentals tutorial, as part of that, we talked about how to create and configure a Redux store. We'll now explore creating the store. This is like JS store reducer. Oh, this is starting to sound like a pain in the nutsack. It's probably good to know about Redux later. It's probably something I should practice in a future application, but I don't think I want to necessarily use that now, because it seems like I'm going to be spending the next few days of streams first configuring Redux then, and that's a pain. I kind of just want to get this component done to the point where I can move on to the admin panels. I really want to start working on the admin pages tomorrow and get all that done over the weekend and be able to create categories and then start adding and creating things. I want to get to the point where I'm just about done with this so I can finish these streams and then code at my leisure again. The downside of doing this, I wanted to document the entire development process for this particular application, just so I haven't documented, partly because it's an internal thing that I would never host anywhere. I do need to be able to demonstrate it in some way as part of a portfolio. I don't know why I'm explaining this to nobody in the dead center of a stream. Whatever. But yeah. On the other hand, Redux sounds pretty cool. I kind of want to learn it, but I don't think now's the time. I think I'm going to have to use Redux on a later project that isn't streamed, so that I have time to sit and learn shit. Because I've spent the last hour just reading shit instead of coding. That's not... I don't know. That's no bueno. So yeah. Yeah. Use context. So, where's my service? Some context provider. So, yeah, well, worst case, I just, I don't know. New folder, components, providers. Category. Context. Let's see what you got. Single comment. You create single manageable searching. Result to see for both search bar and selected categories. Okay. Create separate context. Yeah. Okay, so I can't put it all in one place. Jesus Christ. Who's calling me? And why? Okay. That's nice. Okay. Import React, create context, use state. App context, const app provider, equals search query, selected categories. Const set search equals query, set search query. Query. Provider. Values, set search. Okay. So this is pretty slim, and this would get me where I want, wouldn't it? I still don't want to just use don't want to be just using GPT code though, for Christ's sake. So let's just get a quick. Oh yeah, no, not for what I'm doing. Yeah, I'm not doing class components though. Oh, that's legacy. Context. Let's create context light. Context. Const theme, set theme, use state light. Theme context dot provider value equals theme. So context dot consumer. Consumer theme class. Use context. Let me still. All the way. Theme equals use context, theme context. Theme. Okay, so. Yeah. Providers. New file. Search provider. Yeah. Search context. Okay, usage creating context, contextless components, passing props. Call create context outside of any components to create one or more contexts. Wait. I can use this to put the auth token. Ooh, I can use this to put the auth token in a context instead of in application. So the only issue is then you kind of lose your token when you leave and come back, and I kind of want to allow you to return within the half an hour and still be logged in, but maybe I shouldn't. Maybe for this it is more appropriate to use a context than a local storage anyway. Yeah. Yeah, stop using local storage, start using context for auth. The page component and any components inside it, no matter how deep, we'll see the past context from a file. Theme equals use context, theme context, but hold on, let's see. Context aware button, toggle. Okay. Context theme equals use context theme context. Yeah, so that's without a default value, so I'll have to figure that out, but const search provider equals children. Provider. A provider. Okay, so I don't think that this is correct code necessarily, but I'm gonna try this anyway. What the hell, why not? Let's just copy it here so that I can type it quicker. So Search provider. Search provider equals children. Kind of want to see something else though. Where's my button? It's my context aware toggle. As children. Yeah, it's just any, who cares? Okay. Search query. Okay, selecting categories. On set search query string. Set search categories. Alright. App context, search context, the provider. Just want to see something. Okay, but okay, so what about just undefined value? Value equals just do that. You see. So you're creating an object context. And then this is creating an instance of that around it. Otherwise, based on this, what they expect you to do is create that, but I've basically created a provider wrapper that feeds this value in as a new default value. And this sort of hijacks this in a way. That's interesting. I want to see how this works. Then. Because I'll tell you right now what that implies. What all this implies is that in the left nav bar, no, where's left nav? Is that these here accordion collapses are using that context. And that context is wrapping this this accordion. That's interesting. So now if we go to app, router. App routes. Yeah, and that has to wrap because the nav bar uses the route. Oh, not search context. Okay, so obviously nothing feels different. I wonder if there's other multi-state. Yeah, this is how they do it. Any values you can pass object here if your values is parameters. There you go. No. I want to know what the children type should be. User provider. Okay, here's an abstraction that I use to create standardized. Jesus. That's much too much. I just want to know what I should set the type for children to be, really. Yeah. Better just leave it as any then. Uh, yeah, just leave it. Just leave it. So, anyway. So. Let's do search bar and top nav. So, hmm. See, here's the thing. Context helper. Is accordion key active? Okay. Search query. I know it's an interface, so you probably can't instantiate it. Of course not, I didn't think so. Can't instantiate an interface. So how the hell do I get out of this pickle? Context, React to context. So just don't create the context, just Let's see if that works. Ha! And that's how we get something more akin to accordion context. And I think I was able to finagle that enough that it's kind of my own at this point. So we'll call it. Search query. Set search function. Okay. I guess I could have just passed these functions down directly. But having some level of control at the provider class level is better. Like I could have made, you know, React.dispatch, etc. be the type here and here. But I'd rather make these be functions, these functions, and just... Alright. So now let's see. Set search. Okay, and we're just gonna boom. Value equals search. And that already does set search. On change. Oh, no. Yeah, that updates what the search value is. The issue is triggering an onSubmit event. A janky, hacky way to do it would just be to have an incrementing integer, but... Yeah, and then I would just manage the... Yeah. Yeah, be updating the search value, but not be submitting a search necessarily. Yeah. Search provider. And then, just create a bool that flips. It's a little janky, but search submit. Yeah. How do you like them apples? Alright. So, I gotta go a little extra tonight because it's already 10 o'clock and I barely got anything done. Well, it's only Thursday. And kind of finishing out the weekdays by getting search and category selection filtering done is one way to go. But, yeah. Okay. At least be able to demonstrate that this is doing something. Okay, and then we just want to have some demo that this is doing what it's supposed to, and then we'll hook it all up tomorrow and make it actually do something. So let's go dashboard page. Okay, use effect. Okay, item display, items, search params, use search params. Alright, page, master page, total items, set total items, use state. Okay. Where's navbar.tsx? Const search query. Search context. Okay, so let's get back here. Search context. Okay, const search query. Const search submit. What's the issue? Search query. Okay. Oh. Oh, so you're just bitching that I haven't used it yet. Oh, like what you're bitching? Search query, set search. Search query. Search submit. Okay, so there we go. Okay. Okay. So we'll do that. Okay. Okay. What are you mad about? Code type, syntax error, the request module, TSX14? What's the matter? What's the matter? Uh-huh. But navbar, that's not an issue. Search context equal search provider. Okay. Dashboard page. What's the issue? Import. Really, what's the actual issue? Do I have to rebuild? Code syntax error, the requested module, search provider does not provide an export named search context. Fuck you mean? Components, providers, search provider. Yeah, it does. It literally does. Fuck you mean? React to context, search context value. Let's go to context aware toggle. Go to is according key active and next. So what's the problem? It literally does though. It's right there. I'm looking right at it. Why are you like this? Oh, is that because... No. Except it literally fucking does, and you're full of shit. Why are you like this? I mean, it literally does, though. So that was a bunch of bullshit. So, get the new computer soon. Well, I mean, I have it. I just finished setting it up. I have. Okay, so I'm not exporting search provider. How about that? Fuck you. Okay, fine. Whatever. I'm only exporting the fucking search context then from this file. Fucking suck my balls. Okay, so why is this acceptable? Hmm. Put that back. Put that back. I don't know why it insists that's not a thing when it's literally right there. Const search context. How about that? Type. Okay, create context. Context type. Equals React to create contents. Create context. Okay. Oh, fuck you. You rat bastard, that's why. Suck my ass. You no good dirty rat bastard son of a bitch. Okay, so now we have a properly created context. Okay. Pass in this value when you use the provider. It hooks into all these, passes these. Holy shit. So now it should work. And why doesn't it work? Oh, it works. Oh, bite me. Okay. Ha! Okay, so that power failure when I was this close to finishing was such bullshit. I cannot wait until I have the new laptop fully set up. I have nothing installed on it yet. I moved the contents of my D drive, which now I'm going to have to further move the contents of my D drive because I have more thumbnails from streams to move over. But other than that, I'm still going to move over all my documents, move over all my videos. I mean, I got some great videos. I got some really great videos. You know, you can tell by the names. These are just the best videos. Just the best videos. I definitely got to move them over. Wait, where's the window for that? It didn't load. That's weird. It didn't actually open. Yeah, I definitely got to move these files over to my new computer before I take this one out to a field and hit it with a fucking sledgehammer. You know, we got great hits like. So I really I gotta transfer my files, but then I really need to get on the new computer this weekend. So Saturday at the latest, because having a power failure in the middle of coding because the battery is fried, it's bullshit. And I am livid having that happen. I've been lucky the last 17 days, but now my luck's run out clearly. One more. Let's see, we got ooh. That's my message to the MSI manufacturers who made this crappy ass laptop. Alright. That's what I have to say to them, okay? You made it so that when it's even plugged in, it goes, oh, no battery! No power, even though it's literally plugged into the wall for infinite power. You know? Yeah. Yeah. Shitty ass laptop. Anyway. So that was a whole ordeal just to get this much, but you know. Yeah. So that's all I have to say about that. Oh, I gotta get that one in my folder. That's all I have to say about that. So yeah, same time tomorrow.